How's it going, everybody? My name's Ben, and a couple nights back I got to catch an early screening of Doctor Sleep, the spiritual successor to Stephen King's The Shining. It was directed by Mike Flanagan, previously of Oculus and Haunting of Hill House fame, and starred Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and Kyliegh Curran in her first ever acting role. I thought the movie did a pretty solid job of following up something that necessarily didn't need a sequel, by diving deep into story and lore of what exactly The Shining is and how it affects Danny as he grows up, as well as how it affects our other protagonist, Kyliegh Curran's character, who's a little girl growing up halfway across the country, who's somehow linked to Danny later in the movie, but at the beginning we just see glimpses of her powers through kind of interesting little miracle experiments in front of her parents, per se. And then we also get a lot of introduction to Rebecca Ferguson's character, Rose the Hat, who kind of looks like the perfect essence of Stevie Nicks, equally parts attractive and terrifying, who leads a group of smoke-stealing, shining-stealing, basically vampires that, whenever they get their hands on the children that have the shining ability, take it from them in the most painful way possible to gain immortal life. It also kind of shows an angle that's kind of interesting of making them semi-likable because they recruit people who are like downtrodden and end up convincing them to join the eternal lifestyle without telling them the risks necessarily. There are actually some pretty funny moments between members of that group, as well as between Danny and some during serious moments with his friends as his story traverses on his side of things. I thought the movie had some pretty excellent pacing in that it felt more like a Stephen King book than an actual Stephen King movie. It kind of trotted along at its own pace and gave you deep dives into story and got you really attached to the characters to the point that an hour and a half had gone by and you only felt like you were halfway into the movie. I'm not going to dive too deep any more details in the movie because you should honestly go see it. It's a fantastic watch. But my only issue with it was the section of it that dealt with the Stanley Hotel. While it did lend to one of my favorite scenes in the movie that I absolutely love, and you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, inside the Stanley Hotel in a specific area from the movie, and conversation between Danny and another character. And besides that, though, it went by way too fast. I didn't really realize the movie was over. I thought it was just ramping up again and we were about to go for another hour on that plot line. But besides that, I thought the pacing was excellent. First thing to be super Stephen King book-feely in a while. At least, I actually haven't seen the It sequel, so I definitely need to get on that, which is kind of sad since I'm a pretty big horror fan. But anyways, guys, I'd honestly give it like a solid 8.5, 8.6. Definitely should see it. Definitely going to be buying it. Pretty solid sequel to The Shining, you know. I mean, it didn't need one, but it gave us something that is fantastic. So kudos to you, Mike Flanagan, the rest of the cast, and see you guys next time. Like, comment, subscribe.